Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Drew finds his next victim after Anna tells Jason he needs to find Britt. On General Hospital today, Isaiah notices Curtis and Jordan together, Alexis turns to Jason for support, and Lulu and Albrecht verbally spar at a meeting with Dante. When Alexis visits Monica at the Quartermain house, Jason informs her that she will not be seeing any guests today. Monica might be the only person who can assist her, according to Alexis, who feels this is crucial. Alexis attempts to stop Drew. Alexis reveals that Drew is taking Scout with him when he moves to Washington, D.C. Drew simply thinks about what he needs and wants, and it is unfair to take Scout away from her family. Since her opinion of Drew is the only one that counts to him, aside from Willow's, Alexis wanted to talk to Monica. For Scout and Sam's sake, she begs Jason to speak with Monica and requests that she prevent Drew from relocating to Washington, D.C. Drew is having boundary issues. Drew storms into GH's staff lounge to ask Liz to update him on Willow's condition. Liz tells him that she is trying her hardest to rebuild her life and that she needs time and space to recover. When she has lost everything and the world is against her, Drew won't leave her alone. Willow, according to Liz, is not alone and has not lost everything. Drew complains that Curtis blew up his life with Willow, but Liz counters that Curtis was just acting in Willow's best interests. Liz is asked by Drew if she believes Willow is doing better now. The only thing he can do is to give her the time and distance she requested because Liz is aware that she is now basing her decisions on the truth. Drew detests the current situation, but he would detest it much more if Willow didn't currently have Liz. Too near for Stella? After a 10-hour surgery, Isaiah is relieved to discover Portia still in the building at the nurses' station. She is pleased to say that she is staying and that she and Curtis are once again on good terms. Outside of this hospital, Portia hopes Isaiah is establishing a life for himself. He clarifies that he spends the most of his time repairing the cabin that Lucky gave him. Before going home, he makes the decision to take a stroll in the park to get some fresh air. When Portia turns around after Isaiah leaves, Stella is standing there looking worried. How close is she to Dr. Gannon? Stella asks. Although Portia clarifies that he is both a friend and a colleague, Stella worries that their friendship would be interpreted as improper for a business setting. Portia maintains that she has boundaries with all of her subordinates. Portia is aware that Stella only has her best interests in mind. She informs her that the problem between her and Curtis is unrelated to Dr. Gannon and that they are working on their relationship. Rekindled friendship or something else? While jogging in the park, Jordan and Curtis happen to meet paths and decide they can't continue to avoid one another. Curtis feels that they owe it to her, so he tells her that he and Portia have discussed their differences and are going to try to mend their marriage. Curtis claims that she prevented them from reverting to their shared nostalgia, but she also notes that he consented to step aside. Jordan believes they may be able to maintain their friendship now that everything has been resolved. Curtis inquires about her relationship with Sidwell. She acknowledges that she has never been better. Jordan says she enjoys the advantages, finds the job hard, and is earning more money than ever while continuing to try to overthrow Sidwell. By making a down payment on an opulent condominium suited for a wealthy COO, she also strengthened her cover with him. Can Albrecht, Lulu, and Dante call a truce? Lulu and Dante show up at Laura's workplace. They believe Laura wants to see them regarding Rocco, but she is at another meeting. After correcting Ezra during a municipal council meeting, Laura eventually shows up. She informs them that she wants them to reconcile with Albrecht for Rocco's sake. Laura claims that Rocco needs proof that the lady who gave birth to him wasn't a terrible person, but Lulu wants him to stay away from that woman. Laura asserts that Britt was more than one thing, despite Lulu's insistence that she was. Laura claims that Rocco will visit her behind their backs if she bans him from talking to Albrecht. Lulu is informed by Dante that Laura is correct. Laura recommends that they figure out a secure method for Rocco to meet with Albrecht and learn about his requirements. Lulu requests that her mother set up a meeting between them and Albrecht. Soon after, Albrecht shows up, and everyone sits down in Laura's office. Albrecht maintains that Rocco's welfare is her only concern. Although she acknowledges that she embraced the chance to get back in touch with Rocco, she stresses that he actively sought her out. But she always let Rocco choose where she fit into his life. Dante clarifies that since Rocco is just 15, his parents will determine her role in their son's life until he is an adult. According to Lulu, they were considering having Albrecht visit her home so they could talk to Rocco together. Albrecht asks if she must first provide a transcript of her intended remarks because he believes this to be a supervised meeting. Lulu clarifies that precautions need to be taken. Albrecht leaves because she just wants to do what Laura has had time to accomplish, which is to get to know Rocco. According to Lulu, Albrecht is not one of Rocco's two grandmothers. According to Albrecht, Britta's blood is in his veins because she carried Rocco. Some would argue that Britta is Rocco's mother just as much as Lulu is, in addition to being his grandmother. Anna tries her luck at the Metro Court, where she proposes a weekend of wine tasting at the Finger Lakes after Carly and Jack have a kiss. Saying that she and Carly have unresolved business, Anna interrupts. After she ghosted her the other night, Carly yells at her and asks what she wants now. Jack becomes concerned, but Anna only responds that Lucas came to the PCPD to report that Sonny had kidnapped Marco and asks if she knows anything about it. After declaring that she will not do this, Carly hurries to the kitchen to confront the chef. "What the hell was that about?" Jack asks Anna. Anna was curious to see his reaction if she told Carly that he had recruited her daughter. It would be treason, he claims. Even though Anna is aware of her limited options, she will be honest with Carly if something were to happen to Joss. Anna leaves abruptly. Britt is lounging on a lounge chair outside on the balcony at the Five Poppies when Pascal gets intimate with her. He informs her that since he is anticipating outcomes, she ought to be in the lab. "Tell him that she's on strike," Britt advises. Britt tells Pascal that she won't be working until the lab's air circulation is fixed because it isn't functioning to her satisfaction. Britt responds that it's too late and that she wants a nap because she's had too many cocktails when Pascal subsequently states the circulation has been corrected. Pascal becomes combative, snatches her, and tells her that there are ways to get sober. In the last moments of the show, Jason informs Alexis that Monica promises to try to reach Drew at the Quartermaines estate. "I hope this works, Alexis." Stella is informed by Portia at the hospital that although she and Curtis have been having difficulties, they will struggle to keep their marriage intact. Drew sees them embrace from a distance. He takes out his phone and makes a call to initiate an investigation into insurance fraud. Poor Stella, what did she do to him? The truce is over, then. Jordan tells Curtis that she will have a complete view of the port from her new building in the skyline as they are in the park. According to Curtis, it will be exactly like her home in Baltimore. As they converse, Isaiah shows up and notices how comfortable they both appear to be. Dante informs Albrecht at Laura's workplace that she is insane and that they won't allow her to be close to Rocco. He is aware of her identity, recalls her playing mental games, and swears to locate all of her arrest warrants and put her in jail unless she leaves town right away. She asks how he will explain to Rocco that he locked up the only person who has the answers he needs, channeling a little of the wicked Dr. O. As a sneak peek at the weekend, Carly brings wine to Brennan at the Metro Court. Brennan admits that he hasn't been truthful with her as they raise a toast. Britt informs Pascal at the Five Poppies that he wouldn't like him to treat her in this manner. Joss and Vaughn show up out of nowhere. Vaughn asks Pascal if this is where they check in, with Britt's back to them. When Anna finally shows up at the Q's estate, she informs Jason that he must locate Britt right away. Jason requests that Anna tell him all she knows and how she knows it on the upcoming General Hospital. Monday, August 11th. General Hospital spoilers, Brennan's confession, Jason's furious demand, and Jocelyn and Britt's near miss. According to General Hospital spoilers for Monday, August 11th, Britt Westbourne and Jocelyn Jacks will have a near miss, and Jason Morgan will make a furious demand. Let's discuss what will happen on the CBS soap opera as Jack Brennan will also confess. The drama will begin in Laura Collins' office, where she will urge that Liesl Albrecht must earn a place in Rocco Falconeri's life. Ava Jerome will receive a warning from Nina Reeves regarding troublemaker Cody Bell in the interim. Ava will insist that she can manage Cody and may claim that they are merely having fun, despite Nina's warnings to exercise caution. Naturally, Ava won't be aware that Cody is scheming to woo Christina Corinthos Davis, so the news will undoubtedly cause a stir eventually. Tracy Quartermaine will chastise Cody for pursuing Ava in the interim and contend that he is superior to that. Will Cody be able to conceal from Tracy the real reason behind his interest in Ava? Alexis Davis will discover that Molly Lansing Davis supports Drew Kane's move to Washington, D.C. Molly may acknowledge that it would benefit many people if Drew moved away, but she will probably wish Scout Kane could stay. Could Alexis think about requesting custody of Scout if she will be considering some fresh legal actions? After implying that he hadn't been entirely truthful with Carly Spencer, Brennan exited with a shaken expression. Brennan will be skeptical of Carly's assurance that she can handle whatever confession he is going to make. Since Brennan would never be honest about anything pertaining to Jocelyn Jack's covert agent job and her new objective, it is obvious that this is a fake out. Although Brennan will tell Carly something, it probably won't be a huge deal in the end. Now that Anna Devane has changed her mind, Jason will vehemently demand answers at the Quartermaine estate. Jason should look for Britt as soon as possible, according to Anna, so he'll realize she's hiding some information she's discovered. Explain your knowledge and how you came to know it. In the GH teaser video released on Monday, Jason makes a demand. Anna may at least provide Jason with hazy updates on her most recent Dalmatia clue, even if she chooses not to disclose the specifics of her chat with Brennan. Although she believes Jason should exercise caution, Anna will encourage him to go digging at the resort there. Vaughn and Jocelyn had just arrived to check in at the Five Poppies. Britt is standing there with a frightening Pascal, but she has a huge hat on and her face is turned away. That might be GH's strategy to avoid a full-scale confrontation and instead make this a close call. It's possible that Britt will flee before Jocelyn can identify her, delaying their in-person stunner until later. Don't overlook the challenges that lie ahead, since General Hospital spoilers indicate that Jocelyn will experience some frustration once this expedition gets underway. General Hospital spoilers, Sidwell kills Judge Heron to start his plans. According to General Hospital spoilers, during the custody hearing between him and Willow Tate, Michael Corinthos was pleasantly delighted when Judge Eva Heron gave him full custody of both of his children. Even though Michael thought he had a good case, he was aware that, unless the mother posed a threat to the children, it was uncommon for the father to be granted complete custody in a child custody dispute. However, Michael is still unaware that Jen Sidwell, a very unexpected party, bribed the judge to rig the entire case in his favor. In an unexpected turn of events, Jen Sidwell bought off Judge Heron so that Michael could keep his kids. Sidwell's intentions were unknown until recently. However, he recently told his son Marco Rios about his plan. In order to destroy Sonny Corinthos' connection with Michael and possibly land him in the center of a criminal inquiry, he intends to frame Sonny for the crime. Given the impending vote on Measure C, that is the last thing Sonny needs at the moment. The city will compel Sonny to sell his docks if the law is approved, which would severely impair his business. Jen Sidwell had been holding out for the ideal opportunity. However, how will Sidwell implement his strategy? He could report the bribe to the authorities anonymously, but there's no assurance that they'll discover any proof connecting Sonny to the judge. Sidwell might need to be more straightforward. He might have to kill Judge Heron and stage it as a suicide in order to accomplish that. In the judge's writing, Sidwell might insert a fake memo confessing to accepting a bribe from Sonny. The passing of Judge Eva Heron might destroy Sonny Corinthos. The police may find it easy to link the period of Michael and Willow's custody hearing to evidence that Heron accepted a bribe. The court might then overturn Heron's ruling and grant Willow custody of her and Michael's kids. If Michael thinks Sonny is the reason Willow has full custody, he will never be able to forgive him. To make matters worse, Sonny might lose the docks and even face jail time. Sidwell's retaliation would then be finished. What are your thoughts? When is Sidwell going to implement his plan? Will he kill Judge Heron in order to achieve his goals? If it's thought that Sonny bought Heron off, might Michael lose custody of his kids? The aroma of summer had just started to permeate Port Charles's social fabric when a subtle change occurred, brought on by a glance, a light-hearted discussion in a chapel, laden with years of unresolved disputes and sour memories, rather than a significant scandal or a dramatic turn of events. Lucy appeared at the altar as a woman whose heart had been broken and patched more times than she could remember, not as the vibrant public face of a cosmetic company or the Queen of Flair. And now Martin Gray, the man she had believed might be her life's final love, was back in town. Quotations had opened their conversation, the type of banter that could only be exchanged between two people who were intimately acquainted with one another's rhythms. After Lucy's tragic error, her brief but very regretted rekindling with Scott Baldwin, Marty, the gentleman lawyer with that southern charm, had returned after months of inexplicable absence. Their brittle trust had been shattered by that slip-up, and Marty's abrupt, silent departure had only made things worse. But now, with the town still reeling after Willow and Drew's wedding, fate had brought Lucy and Marty together once more. They spoke in a delicate tango on the brink of something more profound. The weight of what had been left unsaid lay behind the jokes and grins. Despite his elegance, Marty's eyes still maintained a cautious expression. He did laugh with her, of course, but his smile was tight. For her part, Lucy stood a bit too near and laughed a bit too loudly, maybe in the hopes that being close might rekindle the fire that quiet had put out. Later that night, Lucy found herself observing him from the other side of the Metro Court bar in the relative silence. Not much had changed about him. When conversing, he continued to lean slightly forward. Continued to sip his bourbon as if it were a deliberate aspect of his allure. And yet, perhaps most painfully, gazed at her through the eyes of a guy who had once had a whole faith in her. Her heels clicked confidently as she walked toward him, but her heart was racing more than it had in months. "I suppose I ought to express my gratitude," she said in a low, earnest voice. Marty looked up, startled, and said, "For not running away the moment you saw me." Even he was surprised by the softness of his tone as he said, "You were always hard to bolt from." Tilting her head, she examined him as she slid into the seat next to him. "So why didn't you say goodbye before leaving?" The silence and weight of the moment sat between them. Marty let out a slow breath. "Because I was skeptical of my own words if I stayed." Lucy nodded. "I needed time to stop hating what you did without hating you." "Did it succeed?" "Not totally," he acknowledged. "But it's a start." Their discussion veered from the intensely private to the tame news about deception, rumors of Tracy's interference, and rumors of the ongoing turmoil surrounding Drew and Nina's scandalous affair. However, the atmosphere had changed. There was a spark again. Still tiny, glimmering with uncertainty, yet genuine. Lucy wasn't gullible. She was aware that Marty had been hurt in ways she might never completely comprehend due to her weakness with Scott. She shouldn't have reached for Scott because he was a comforting reminder of her past. She had, however, at that moment of despair when it felt like the walls were closing in on her. Furthermore, the harm could not be undone. Marty was here, though. Conversing with her. Even grinning. She had the audacity to hope. In the days that followed, their paths crossed more often than chance would permit. At the coffee shop. In the park. Even in the hospital lobby where Lucy had been promoting Deception's new initiative. The energy between them changed somewhat each time. Less uncomfortable. More recognizable. But in Port Charles, as Lucy was all too well, hope was a hazardous thing. She learned of Scott's attempt to get in touch one afternoon. She didn't answer, whether it was out of habit, guilt, or nostalgia. Not now. She was aware that Scott needed to stay in the past, where he belonged, if she possibly hoped to mend the damage she had caused to Marty. However, Tracy Quartermaine presented itself as a new obstacle just as Lucy began to see the possibility of a second opportunity. There were rumors that Tracy had been prying into Marty's past while he was missing, including bringing up the long-standing controversy about the Deceptor's stolen idea. Although Lucy didn't want to accept it, she wouldn't think twice if Tracy could find something valuable that she could use to pressure Marty against Deception. Marty and Lucy soon found themselves seated again, but this time they were facing off rather than flirting. "I have a question for you," Lucy replied, her voice tense. "Was it really simply me that caused you to leave? Or was it something else?" Marty sighed and turned his head away. "And I think that," she continued hastily, "but I also think that you've been hiding something else from me. I told you it was about Scott. Tracy might be using something." Her suspicion was verified by the silence that followed his response. At last, Marty stated, "There were issues with my ex-wife's business relationships. There were things I didn't completely comprehend at the time. I may have made statements to the incorrect individuals. Lucy, I wasn't attempting to undermine Deception." Lucy blinked. "I was just trying to protect myself." "You believe that if you had told me that, I wouldn't have supported you?" I didn't know, Marty said in a quiet voice. I was unsure if you would. After what transpired with Scott, I wasn't sure if I could support you. Lucy's chest ached. Thus, we both fled from one another. Yes, he replied. They sat in quiet once more, but this time it was free of bitterness. I suppose we did. It was quiet. Nearly tranquil. An admission that perhaps, just possibly, they had finished pointing fingers and were prepared to begin forgiving. Lucy and Marty found themselves getting closer as the summer dragged on in Port Charles, with all of its typical mayhem, including custody disputes, hospital reorganizations, corporate sabotage, and romantic triangles. The laughing came back. The taunting. Hands stroking but never quite holding, even on lengthy walks after dusk. They had made no announcements. No sweeping motions. No assurances. However, there was a compassion in Lucy pausing every conversation the moment Marty walked into a room. And in Marty tucking a stray strand of Lucy's hair behind her ear when no one else was around. It wasn't flawless. However, it was something. Perhaps the beginning of restoring what they have lost. Additionally, Lucy and Marty's peaceful reunion felt like a protest against the mayhem in a community where love was frequently ephemeral and betrayal was frequently permanent. Something tangible. Something that is valuable. General Hospital spoilers, Lois leaves after fans are shocked by Rena Sofer's heartfelt act. What will happen in Port Charles next? Fans are in shock after an emotional farewell, according to General Hospital spoilers. Fans are crying with both happiness and sadness at Lois Chirulo's departure from General Hospital this week, which is linked to Rena Sofer's actual move from Los Angeles to New York with her husband Sanford Bookstaver. Sofer shared her sadness after 35 years in Los Angeles, leaving behind a life of raising children and finding love, in a heartbreaking Instagram post that was set to Billy Joel and commemorated her and Sanford's May 2025 wedding anniversary. Will Port Charles sense the emptiness as Lois leaves just as her story with Giovanni Gio Palmieri is becoming heated? Rena's move causes Lois to leave General Hospital. Fans are going crazy about Lois's concurrent departure from General Hospital, which many fans claim seemed unfinished, after Rena's tearful statement of moving to New York from Los Angeles, which was shared together with her anniversary with Sanford, went viral on Facebook. Her departure coincides with the strengthening of Lois' relationship with Gio, who was made public as her grandson in May. The loss of Rena's colorful representation at a time when her narrative with Brooke Lynn Quartermaine and Dante Falconeri was at its height has devastated fans. Will Lois's departure change Joe's course, or will she soon return? Fans of GH are complaining about Rena's real-life decision to remove Lois from the canvas at a crucial point, leaving Port Charles in limbo. The absence of Lois' flaming presence hurts, but Tracy Quartermaine would encourage us to persevere. It feels like a spark is gone when she leaves. Without her energy, can Port Charles continue? After the deception mogul fired her mother, how can she and Brooke Lynn patch things up if Lois is back in Bensonhurst licking her wounds rather than trying to get her baby girl to forgive her? The good news is that Lois' departure from Port Charles is temporary, while Rena's transfer is more permanent. On Instagram, Rena affirmed that she would still return to Los Angeles to shoot sequences for GH. Whoa! However, what does this mean for the ongoing plot, which many fans feel is going on too long? Will Joe's story be derailed by Lois' absence? Fans are left wondering what will happen to Gio after Rena's transfer, as General Hospital deals with Lois' departure. Will Lois return soon and rekindle the drama, or will her absence prolong his arc with Brooke Lynn and Dante? With her arms crossed and her eyes focused on the horizon, Willow stood at the Corinthos Estates window, but her thoughts were elsewhere. Her stance was heavy with the weight of the past few weeks, but it was unclear where it came from, just shards of loss, betrayal, and terrible realization. Far too frequently these days, Nina's face surfaced in her mind as the cause of yet another blazing wound rather than the lady she had finally dared to name mother. That brittle link they had attempted to create had held so much promise. However, the truth had suddenly come to light. Nina's affair with Drew, the falsehoods she had told to hide it, and the deceit that had once again strained their relationship of trust. Grief was nothing new to Willow, but this time it hurt in a different way. The anguish of losing someone wasn't it. The anguish of losing faith was the cause. She had turned inward since the wedding catastrophe, when everyone in the village had witnessed Willow's composure crumble under the lights of Carly's chandeliers. Despite his empathy, Michael was taciturn and more concerned with making sure their kids' lives were safe and orderly. Drew's name had turned into venom. What about Nina? She had attempted cards, communications. Willow hadn't answered the door for this visit. But she didn't hear any of it. She was unable to allow it. Forgiveness didn't appeal to her, not when it meant giving up control. Liesl had silently emerged in that liminal place between need and stillness. It had begun with a brief, unannounced visit. Liesl was standing there with a bunch of strangely mismatched flowers and her chin tilted in that ever-formal manner when the door was knocked on. Willow hadn't spoken to her great-aunt in weeks, so she was taken aback, but something about Liesl's presence felt grounded. Like a shadow of steadiness that she was unaware she had been missing. With a softer accent and a non-judgmental glance, Liesl had said, "I came only to check on you. A house with too many empty rooms is grief. I reasoned that you might not want to sit by yourself in yours today." That day, they sat together on the back porch without asking each other for reasons or explanations. Willow listened as Liesl talked about Britt, but not in long-winded recollections or grandiose tales, but in the present. A chuckle during a pie recipe gone wrong. The practice of humming to herself when she's anxious. In medical school, she reportedly stayed up all night soothing a stranger's infant because she couldn't stand the sound of its cries. Get into a showdown. General Hospital spoilers, Drew's Willow gamble, Britt's shock strike. Jason Morgan receives disturbing information regarding Scout Kane, Britt Westbourne puts on a dramatic standoff, and Drew Kane makes a daring move for Willow Tate. Anna's strategic discussion. Anna Devane has unresolved business to discuss with Carly Spencer and Jack Brennan. She exercises caution because she is aware that disclosing too much WSB information could get her into major problems. Anna reroutes the topic and creates a convincing justification for rekindling her interest in Jocelyn Jacks rather than revealing the truth. For the time being, Brennan seems content, but Carly swiftly takes advantage of the opportunity to present her own suggestion. She makes a suggestion to Brennan and watches to see how he responds. It's unclear if he thinks Carly's proposal has any chance of succeeding, but this conversation might set the stage for more drama. General Hospital spoilers, Lulu and Dante's anger outbursts. Laura Collins calls Lulu Spencer and Dante Falconeri, who are both intrigued and uncomfortable with the reason for the meeting. When Laura gives them news that makes them angry, the tension reaches its height. Liesl Albrecht's sudden desire in becoming close to Rocco Falconeri, a move neither parent completely trusts, may be related to this. Their shared annoyance suggests that they will cooperate to keep Rocco safe. But given Liesl's tenacity and sly personality, it might be difficult to keep her at bay in the days to come. Giving credit where credit is due, Curtis Ashford acknowledges to Jordan Ashford that he is re-evaluating his marriage to Portia Robinson. He admits that the reconciliation might not have occurred in the absence of Jordan's support. Even while he concentrates on mending his current relationship, Curtis' appreciation suggests that there may still be respect between the ex-couple. The Ashfords may undergo a sea change as a result of this reinvigorated dedication to Portia. But with so many secrets and old scars at stake, their future might not be entirely straightforward. General Hospital spoilers, Drew's advocate for Willow Drew Kane is determined to assist Willow Tate in regaining her children, so he visits the hospital to consult with Elizabeth Baldwin. He begs Liz to speak out for Willow because he doesn't think her circumstances have really improved. Despite his worries, Drew nevertheless wishes to see Willow again romantically. Elizabeth's reaction might affect what he does next. Should she consent to assist, Drew's idea might acquire traction. If so, he might need to come up with a different strategy to win Willow's trust and win her love. Jason and Alexis fight over Scout. After examining several schools, Alexis Davis tells Jason Morgan that Drew plans to move Scout to Washington, D.C. Alexis is adamantly against the transfer because she worries about how it would affect Scout and her relationship with her brother, Danny Morgan. Although Jason acknowledges that Drew has custodial rights, he acknowledges that his alternatives are restricted. The emotional stakes are highlighted by their conversation, as Jason struggles to balance upholding his daughter's rights with respecting others. General Hospital spoilers, Britt plays hardball. Britt Westbourne bravely defies orders as she relaxes by the pool at the Dalmatia Resort. She explicitly states that she is on strike until she is given additional freedom. Her audacious approach runs the risk of inciting friction with her enigmatic employer, but Britt's tenacity indicates she won't give up easily. Her disobedience can lead to repercussions that extend well beyond her immediate surroundings. Britt's standoff might coincide with a far bigger WSB mission if Jason and Anna connect her to the Five Poppies Resort. William Lipton, a former General Hospital cast member, has a premiere date for his new Prime Video series. The streaming service has finally announced the release date for The Runarounds, a comedy that stars William Lipton, a former General Hospital cast member, and his real-life bandmates. All 8 episodes will be available on Monday, September 1st. Regarding the project, Lipton told TV Insider, "It's a dream come true. My greatest dream part was one that combined a lot of acting and music because I was a very, very young child growing up doing both." Life imitating art developed by Outer Banks creators Josh Pate, Jonas Pate, and Shannon Burke, the young adult drama series centers on a group of recent Wilmington, North Carolina, high school graduates who form a rock band. I already got to experience some on General Hospital, but this show is all about the making of a band, and it's been the best. The teenagers pursue their nearly unattainable goal of being famous over the course of a summer, falling in love and getting into trouble in the process. Lipton's real-life band of the same name, which he performs with alongside Axel Ellis, Jeremy Ewan, Zend Murdoch, and Jesse Gallagher, served as the inspiration for the fictional Runarounds series. The Runarounds came together as a band in 2021 after Jonas Pate called for a group to perform on an Outer Banks Season 3 episode. Following their performance on the Outer Banks, Pate made the group the focal point of his new project. The 5 members were chosen from over 5,000 musicians who answered the casting call. The musical group has since embarked on a tour and recorded an EP. When Cameron played at Trina's birthday celebration at the Savoy in September 2022, they also supported Lipton on GH. The cast of the series, which was also filmed in Wilmington, includes Lila Pate, Brooklyn Decker, Maximo Salas, Kelly Pereira, Shay Pritchard, Hayes MacArthur, Mark Wistrak, and Marley Ilya. One of the band's original songs, Funny How the Universe Works, and another, Senior Year, are already accessible on Spotify, Amazon Music, and other streaming platforms. The series trailer also features this song. The Runarounds original music will be released on September 1st, the same day the program premieres. From 2018 to 2023, Lipton portrayed Elizabeth's son on GH. In order for Lipton to concentrate on his own academic pursuits and artistic endeavors, Cameron got accepted to Stanford University in California. In December 2024, the actor made a quick comeback to the serial opera for a holiday visit with his mother. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.